Welcome to another episode of Health Your Way podcast, where we discuss health issues ranging from physical, mental, emotional, as well as current facts. Today, my special guest is Merra Senjaliya, and we're discussing pelvic floor physiotherapist. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me over here.
I'm excited. This is going to be interesting for me because I never even knew one existed. But anyway, stepping back, so let's introduce her. Merra Senjaliya is a registered physiotherapist as well as a registered pelvic floor therapist.
Mm-hmm.
See, look, I got that. Okay, good. So I guess, thank you. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Don't be sorry.
Okay,
That's okay.
All right, so I think for a lot of guests or viewers that, like me, don't know specifically what a pelvic floor physiotherapist is, what is it, please?
Okay, so let's understand what is physiotherapy first. So
Okay.
Physiotherapist, like, we always help the patient if they have any pain or aches. We help them to strengthen those muscles.
Okay.
Right? We tell them like, do this exercise. This is a good for you. Do the stretches, just to educate what they need to know so that they can go back to their sports or their daily activities without any pain.
Okay, so, all right.
So our goal is to strengthen those muscles. The same thing as the name suggests, pelvic floor physiotherapy.
Okay.
Is we are strengthening the muscles around the pelvic floor area.
Okay.
And only certified pelvic floor physiotherapy only do this.
They have to be certified?
Yes, not all the physios can do it.
Okay.
Only certified physiotherapists can do the pelvic floor.
How long is that course? Like, I'm sorry, this is new to me. How long is it? Like, is it like years
No. It's not a course. It's just you get your physiotherapy degree
First.
And then you take like extra courses to become a pelvic floor physiotherapy.
That makes sense. Like, because I think like my pelvic, I think is very important to me.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I guess for a lot of people that may not know specifically, people think pelvic. Like, where in that region is that? Like, I know this sounds like maybe an ignorant question, but you never know.
No, totally. Like, a lot of people, like, okay, so I'm going to show you this one.
Okay, so for viewers or listeners, I know on the podcast, there is a video component on YouTube, so you can watch this out. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
So this is a pelvic floor this is a pelvic floor muscle.
Okay.
So they're from between our both the pelvis area.
Okay.
So they're like in hammock. So they're like this.
Hammock?
Hammock. They're
Oh,
like
like the little.
sling.
Oh, I see what you mean.
They're
Okay.
sling in our pelvic floor region. So we have a bladder for female, we have a uterus and rectum.
Okay.
So the function of this muscle is to support all this organ.
It's like a little.
Yeah.
I guess like a little sack.
Sack, perfect.
Okay, sack.
So if these muscles are super tight, then they put a pressure on these organs.
Oh,
right?
so if they're very tight, what you're basically saying is that like the pressure itself will compound and make it weaker. Okay.
No, it's
No?
tighter. Right now it's tighter.
Okay, I apologize.
That's
So
okay.
tighter,
That's okay. So this is called muscles called like hypertonic because they're always in higher tone.
Hypertonic. Okay.
Yeah. So the another is like hypotonic.
Hypotonic.
So now the muscles are really loose.
Okay.
And those now organs are unstable.
So then, okay, let's step back. There's hypertonic and hypotonic.
Mm-hmm.
So hypotonic is when the muscles are very loose and unstable, and hypertonic is
Their muscles are really tight.
Tight.
And they're always on, okay, I need to go to washroom every hour.
so there was peeing all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. Completely. We're going to talk about that. So
Okay.
don't be feel like, oh my God, no.
Okay. Yes.
So completely fine.
Good.
So yes, this is what the pelvic floor. So it's our bottom part of our.
Yes. Okay.
Pelvis.
I didn't know there's a visual aid today, but there is one. This is good, and I will have a copy. I think what I'm going to do with this one is, I think when I do mention the episode stuff, I think a lot of people would be interested and like have a link for that.
Yeah, sure.
So this is really good to know. And I guess for a lot of people that don't know this, is it only a man or a woman that are affected by this?
No, even like so. This is a common organ, like the common muscle. It's just the man does not have a uterus and vagina, but still they have the same muscle, so they have the same problem.
Okay, so
Right?
what she's basically saying, you guys, is that's not only a woman's thing.
Yes.
Men need to get
It's
checked
not
out. Get your
yes.
pelvic checked out. You just don't have a uterus part, but you need to check your pelvic. So you need to go see a pelvic physiotherapist if you're peeing often and you can't control your pee. Am I right?
Yep. Yeah. Totally.
See, I'm learning this thing.
Totally.
I didn't know. I guess for then one of the questions is, okay, so now we know that men or women can deal with this, right? And then we understand the difference between hypertonic and a hypotonic. Okay? So then the question then is, how does someone know that they need to see one?
So, like, yeah, what are the signs,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So, a lot of patient comes and they're like, first is like, I see a lot, very common. They always say, I cannot able to hold the urine.
Oh, they say can't hold their pee.
Pee.
Yes,
Can't.
urine.
So,
Sorry,
yeah.
we were
Yeah.
physical
They always think like, oh, I'm leaking my urine, like laughing, jumping, sneezing.
Okay, that's the
Like-
bad. Is this any age you can do this? Like, it's
Any age.
So if you're in your 20s or 19, please listen.
Yeah,
If you're peeing while you're walking down the street, it's not a good thing. I'm sorry.
No, that's
all
okay.
new to me.
Even a weightlifting, they
Yes.
also have a peeing because you're changing the pressure.
Yes.
So a lot of
No, seriously, yes.
a lot of new moms
Yes.
who have like a baby, when they go for their weightlifting,
Yes.
they're like, yeah, I have a problem. I cannot
Hold their uterus.
yeah,
Okay.
uterus. So that's the most.
What about the men part?
Same thing.
Okay.
Men,
Not
but
you don't have a baby first, but you know. Yeah.
But a lot of men have like if they have any surgeries, like
Okay.
prostate surgery,
Really?
yeah, then they have a common issues like this one.
Okay.
They don't get issue like, so 1 in 9 men get it and 1 in 3 women get the incontinence.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Mhm.
So then it's not like it's rare. So because in a population of 1,000, you're gonna at least have a good amount.
So 1 in 3 women, can you think like 1 in 3? So
I'm
most
hoping one day this is not me, but let's go with this. I'm working on pelvics right now. I'm sorry. No, but like the reason why I really wanted you to join is because I never knew this existed, and it's actually I guess then based on what you're telling me, what are the benefits of getting this? Like if you're like, how can a pelvic floor physiotherapist solve some of the issues that you mentioned?
So as I said, being a pelvic floor physiotherapist, we do an internal assessment.
Okay.
And internal assessment and treatment through vagina and the rectum. For female, it's vagina and rectum.
Okay.
And for male, we only do a rectal examination.
Is there another way that they do this? I'm sorry. I'm listening to what you're saying.
Okay, so
no, you understand what you just said, right?
I completely understand.
I don't see it many.
I completely
Let's encourage
understand.
them to come. Okay.
But okay, now understand. Okay, for example, if you have pain in your bicep.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
If
listening.
you have some strain or something, I can palpate. I can see how strong the muscles are.
Yeah.
I can palpate. I can find. Oh, there's a tender spot, right?
I understand
So
that.
same thing. I can look around that. I can check. But because the pelvic floor muscles are so deep, we cannot palpate externally.
Oh, I
Right?
get it now. So,
So
for the
until-
guys, they have to go the other way. For the women, they can.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, and again, the
Yes.
internal is very until unless I don't go, and I don't know either those muscles are tight
Okay.
or they're loose.
So are you feeling it manually first before you? Oh, you can you tell manually by feeling it?
No.
No.
There's no way. Like, yeah, we can check the around like abdominal muscles, but we cannot. We there's
So you
nothing
have to really
we
do.
have to do
Okay.
internal. And like a lot of women, like, yeah, I feel a pressure. I feel like heavy
Okay.
pressure. I have to go. Like, there's an urgency for urination. There's a frequency has gone up.
Yeah.
I also see a lot of patients for painful intercourse.
Yes, I'm listening. Don't worry, I'm
Yeah,
listening to
so
you.
I'm
here
just
for
think like,
you.
oh, what she's talking about. She's
No,
like so
because
much freaked out.
I think I'm just listening. I'm listening to like you, and I'm imagining what other people are listening to, and I'm just like, especially for the men's side, I feel bad. I'm sorry.
But yeah, that's
Okay, then I guess high level. I understand. Then because now you talk about like for the man it has to be more rectal, for the women it's more uterus. Like a lot of people maybe, okay, why would I do this? Like it's more like what are the common myths that prevent people from coming to a pelvic floor physiotherapist? Like what's the common myth that you hear about?
So most of my patients are always referred from the doctor.
Okay.
So once a doctor referral, they will tell, okay, this is an internal that they will. So it's really good. And we all are always like, I cannot go to any third person and I can open my vagina. No, right? you need to have that trust. So
I'm sorry, I understand what you said because you just said it so casually. But go ahead.
But being because I talk like every so to me like yeah, and also like we speak a lot of like with like the gynec doctor what is important about this pelvic floor, but all the time patients are not comfortable. That's okay. We don't have to do
that.
We don't have to
Yes.
do internal. That's okay. We can, but again, then that will take a long period of. The protocol will take a longer time because we are just guessing
Okay.
that either this muscle are tight, maybe this is happening, so we'll try this thing first. You know what? No, this is worsening. Have you heard the word Kegel?
Yes.
Okay, yes, Kegel. So every time doctor, anybody will tell you, oh, do your Kegels. But Kegels is not for all. So if the muscles are already tight and you're doing Kegels again, you're worsening the symptoms.
Okay, so basically that's a common myth would be like the result to fixing is always a Kegel. It's
Yeah.
not a Kegel.
It's not a Kegel.
It has to be some kind of internal not surgery, but internal examination. Thank you.
Yes.
To be able to figure out. So that's maybe a common myth that a lot of people should realize. Kegel does not answer all your response. So really go see a pelvic floor physiotherapist that's either recommended by a doctor, or if you do find that you're having issues, you really may want to seek out. So when someone's seeking out for a physiotherapist, what are your suggestions on, not physiotherapist, a pelvic floor physiotherapist? What are some of your suggestions on who they should, or how should they do the research? I guess that's the question I'm asking.
So there's a website called pelvichealthsolution.ca.
Really? Pelvic
pelvichealthsolutions.ca.
Pelvichealthsolution.ca. Go ahead.
And it will have everything, all research, like
Really?
why they need it, what's going on.
I didn't know that.
There's also I also want to answer your previous question. Another myth is people always think urine leakage after the childbirth is very common. It's normal.
Yeah.
And also the urine leakage as you grow old is very.
So basically, common myth is that you shouldn't always be peeing on your body.
No, it should not. Now there is an help available.
Sorry, I just said it out. I didn't realize.
No problem.
Go ahead,
No problem. But yeah, so you can find Pelvic Health Solution have all your answers.
Okay.
And you can also find a physiotherapist nearby area.
Okay.
Who can help you.
Okay.
And you can also find I provide in 15 minutes free consultation at both the clinic.
Okay.
So one clinic in Stateville, Mississauga, and another clinic in Oakville.
So that's something that we'll provide in at the bottom. And I think so now people are interested. They understand. They're like, okay, maybe I may see a doctor, or maybe I go see a pelvic and floor physiotherapist. But then, is it covered by whole hip?
There are very less clinic.
Let's step back. Whole hip is a Canadian free health care. Just in case Americans are listening, the Canadian free health care. So go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
So there are only very less clinic which provide OHIP and pelvic floor physiotherapy under OHIP.
Okay.
But most of insurance companies.
Oh, okay. Benefits, like if you work for a corporation or you can claim the benefits. Yeah. Okay.
So pelvic floor is not different, but they come under the physiotherapy.
Oh, they come under physiotherapist. So then I guess what she's saying is, if you do see a pelvic floor and physiotherapist, your benefits will be covered under physiotherapist itself. That makes sense. Then let's say for the ones that don't have benefits, I know you said Kegel is not the only answer. So how can they or don't have the funds? Because I know it's not cheap to a certain extent, but then your health is important. What are some suggestions? One or two suggestions you can give them to help them? They can maybe do at home or stuff like that.
Always my first thing. I always talk about also a lot about constipation.
Okay.
So sometimes patient always tell me I have to push during the bowel movement they have to push.
Yes.
Even for peeing they have to push. I always tell
you to push for peeing.
Yeah. So
okay.
Exactly
sorry,
right.
Sorry,
yes.
sorry,
But no,
sorry,
for some people it's really they have to. So I would say stop doing that.
Okay.
So you're straining. So imagine when you're straining all those muscles.
Okay.
Every time you go to pee or bowel movement, you're pushing a lot of force on those muscles.
I'm understanding what you're saying.
My first thing is never ever push and
never force your pee out.
And even a bowel movement out.
Oh yes, the other part too.
Other part. She don't want to say.
I know I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. Never. Well, go ahead.
And also people always constipation. I've been having a constipation for many years.
No, it's not normal.
No, it's not normal. You have to go to someone who can educate. I'm sure you'll be amazed that there's a position you use a squatty potty that will help to resolve your constipation.
Okay.
So I always tell my patient if they go about buy this squatty potty, the stool, just put underneath your feet.
I'm trying to have this conversation with you, but I'm not feeling sick. But go ahead.
So that's my first advice.
Okay.
And always.
Maybe see a doctor.
Yeah.
Please.
Doctor for sure.
Or then again, so you can always go to a physiotherapist and ask them, okay, you know what, this is some of my symptoms. What are you thinking, or do I need to I guess so.
Yes.
But then again, if they don't have the funds, is really maybe the first best is going to a doctor, and then they can take the next step. Then a lot of people are hearing what we're talking about, and they're interested. So if they want to maybe reach out to you in respects to information, how can they reach you? Are you on Facebook, social media, website?
I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
I have also another group which called Pelvic Floor Physiotherapists in Mississauga.
Oh, okay.
So that's my Facebook page.
Okay, so we will have that at the bottom for you.
And also, as I said, I'm looking at 2 locations. One in Stateville. The name
Stateville.
Streetville.
Streetville. Okay, Streetville.
Yeah, Streetville.
Okay, Streetville.
Mississauga, and the name of clinic is Innova Integrated
Okay.
Wellness Center. And other is in Oakville. That's River Chiropractor and Wellness Center.
We'll have that all down, and then that's on your Facebook as well,
Yeah,
right?
I am on Facebook. Yeah.
Then I guess now we know how to reach you, some of the information you are. For a lot of people, so then why would I reach out to you? What sets you apart from other physio or pelvic floor? I think the pelvic part is that you have certification first.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
So yes, certificate always. Whenever you go to a pelvic floor, any physiotherapist, like for pelvic issues, make sure they have a pelvic floor certificate.
Okay.
Then only they can do it. But I know nobody will under the pelvic
Yes.
floor certification. But for me, like I have seen wide ranges. So I have seen a patient from age of 18 and from age of 65.
Oh wow.
So I can talk to all the ages. I know what problems comes within different
Okay.
age. Also, for pelvic floor physiotherapy, communication is a key.
Okay.
If you cannot communicate with your patient, if they don't have a trust, it's very difficult to
I understand.
right? So yes, and also language barrier, because I speak many language, like various languages other than English.
Okay.
So it's really easy for them to communicate and to tell what's going
I understand.
on.
I see that.
And I'm a research based. I do a lot of hands-on. I provide exercise education is key.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why I would say yeah.
I like that. I guess for the viewers and listeners, we did have a lot of visual aid itself, so we do have a YouTube component part of this. So please feel free to check the YouTube. And I want to say thank you, Meera, for joining us. I unfortunately learned a few things that I did not want to know, but it was nice to know this. Thank you very much. And I actually would look forward to having you come back. If you guys wanted to come back, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment.
Perfect.
Tag us. Let us know that you are interested in seeing us further.
If you need more info, sure, please
Yes.
write it down. We can always discuss further.
Yes.
And even she'll learn something new for sure.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but thank you. Thank you for joining us today on our weekly episode on Health Your Way podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, share with others, and please feel free to comment below and ask any questions on topics we've discussed, as well as future topics you'd like to hear about. Have a happy and healthy week, and be sure to tune in next week for the next episode on our Health Your Own Way podcast.